SGC here, and welcome back to Wednesday Comics Time. Let's get it on. First up, Raccoon. This was a total awesome one. Because, I mean, if you remember, issue 8 was whole saving Groot thing, and all of a sudden it's like Kaiju Groot, and it's just like, did Hulk just die from Groot? And then we have Cap and old Iron Man, so it's like, in the future, or what's happening? And it's just like, are we gonna... Like, what is really going on? This was just a great issue just to figure out, why is there an old Rocket? Like, what is happening? That was fun. Loved the sort of, what's it called? Oh, I don't know. This punch. The words became punch. I'm lost for words. But yeah, this was a great issue. Great fun stuff. It's just like, what's really happening? And we have Iron Man going to space, and then Rocket taking him out, and it's just like, man, did Iron Man just die? What's happening? I won't ruin the ending of this issue for you, but it was great fun, and I can't believe the first book I read for this week was this awesome. Let's continue the greatness. Guardians team up, solely bought because it's drawn by Art Adams, the great Art Adams, and this issue was amazing. The art was just awesome. Seriously, he needs to just... Seriously, I would buy anything he draws. I think this is the first comic that I read that he's drawn, which is sort of like an epic fail on my part, even though I love his stuff. But this issue was fun, a lot of action, a lot of characters, and just a lot of jokes, and just great fun stuff. I mean, I love the art, the way he draws his women is just, sure, they sometimes look the same, or most of the time, but they just have a lot of emotions behind their expressions, and it was just great. So many people, it's just, the jokes are hilarious. I mean, Rocket Raccoon and Spider-Woman, that was hot, because she is hot. I said it. But his jokes are funny. And definitely a huge bummer is that he's not drawing the next, or he's not drawing the rest of the series. It's all done by different artists, and I'm totally bummed out. But, I mean, seriously, I need to hunt down his comics, like, stuff that he's drawn. I mean, I already buy stuff with his covers, and this time it's just like, with his interiors, which is amazing. I know I'm behind on this whole Adams love, but like, it was just great issue. Like, it was just so fun to read. Next up, Black Science. Oh man, now this time traveling thing is going out of whack. It's like, who is who, who's who, and who is who. Like, seriously. We have to figure out which dimension these guys are from. They're all related. They all care about the kids. They care about their counterpart husbands and wives. And they're in this... I have no idea which kind of land they are in, and this shaman guy is really, like, powerful now all of a sudden, but it's like, which world did they drop themselves in? And it just looks pretty intense, like, this flamethrower guy, these people hunting people, and it looks vengeful, and it's just a lot of craziness, and it's like, is this the Civil War, what have you? But cannot wait for next issue. I mean, it was a great issue. Next up, Nameless number 2. Yes, Nameless number 1 was a total, like, what is happening? Is this Inception upon Inception? But this time, we got more grounded narrative. They're in space, and they're figuring out this thing out, and it's just like, people are dying all of a sudden. It's like, they're trying to figure out who's the killer, and the art here is just nuts. Really reminds me of the vibe of the goreness of Preacher. It's really great Burnham art, and just the narration, stories, it's like, it feels like they're stuck in a space, and it's just like the sci-fi-ness, and like people are going nuts, and there's other people, and it's like it's really happening, and definitely just cult stuff at the same time. It's like cultish stuff in science, and I don't know, it's a great mashup, and he's the only one that believes it. Everyone just like, this guy's crazy, and seriously, we have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. Like, the twist here is just great, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it is great. It's gonna be nuts, and I cannot wait for next issue. Continue on with cluster number 2. We and the band now have to realize they are in the shits, and the government realize that they're in the shits, and she's an important girl, and they need to get her out of there. And will they? Who knows? But basically, a lot of characterization in terms of the group dynamic, figure out who's who, what did they do before, why are they here, and it builds great chemistry, and just the foil, and just a ragtag team of just nobodies banding together to fight things. And now we get this, like, society, culture stuff, so we got the army stuff, the prison, and now we have a loco alien thing, and it's just like mercenaries everywhere, and it's just like, what happened? What happened at the end? As in, do we time jump or what have you? But it was great stuff. Can't wait for next issue. Next up, Descender number 1. Jeff Lemire is back, and wow, this story is intense. Dustin Nguyen's like paintbrushy artness is pretty interesting for a sci-fi futuristic place with 2 storylines going forward. We have this doctor sort of that dealt with robots and stuff, and obviously something happened, and then we have this kid. Unfortunately for me, it was ruined about the kid, like in previews. I was like, oh, I would have loved to turn the page and go like, wow, that's nuts. But it ruined it for me in previews. But basically, there's 2 storylines. Kid looking for stuff, no one's around. Reminds me of, again, Homebound. And it was just like, now they figure out what happened, and they need to find that kid. And it was just great. I love the art here. It's very whiteness. It's very clean for science fiction stuff, space and all. And then obviously we have no idea what's that group at the end, but it was a great, enjoyable issue. Cannot wait for the next one. Saga 26. Man, this issue is heavy in terms of just characters growing and dealing with life, and it's just family issues, and it's just, what's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Marco. This whole family aspect thing, I mean, we've been with them 26 issues, and now the family thing, we build it off, and now so many things are happening with the kidnapping and just like, just everybody. It was a great build-up. Like, the payoff is excellent in terms of growth, and it's just, now we have this captain of the 4th cell showing up. Finally, we get to see sort of Dengo's sort of mentality and what he's really trying to strive for, and it's just definitely interesting. And also the prince is sort of like more humanistic now, and it's just, yeah, he suffered a lot with this whole thing happening to his family, and he's more relatable, as in, like, he's not a douchebag. I found that he was just like a prince, crazy prince, monarchy, crazy stuff, but he's like, you know, no wonder they're working together, him and Marco. So, all new Hawkeye. Hawkeye 22 is not even out, and all new Hawkeye's out already. Weird stuff. It is definitely interesting. We have flashback scenes of him and his brother, and it's just like, all of a sudden, really different art style. Totally whoa. Are they really going to follow this up with this sort of art style? Interesting play, but no. I guess they're not. They're going to keep it safe and keep it sort of grounded in the David Aja sort of art. Action is there, awesome. And still fun stuff to read. There's more Kate Bishop this time around. I do wonder if it's going to tie into 22 as much, or it's not. But I really definitely enjoy the whole flashback scenes. There's just like a lot of oomph behind it, and just trying to figure out their relationship, and it's just fun. It was interesting and fun. I couldn't have expected any less from this team. So Star Wars Princess Leia number 1. So again, we're doing this whole revamp of characters. I would definitely say I enjoyed this because, first of all, the art I enjoy, more comfortable with Dalton's art than Cassidy's. And the storyline itself is weirdish in the sense where it does the same thing as Star Wars, as in it builds a character in a way that we sort of knew existed, but we couldn't really imagine. So I appreciate that. I mean, I sort of wish that Luke wasn't in this, because it definitely builds a different chemistry between the two of them in the movie. Like I said in the Star Wars titles itself. If she was doing all this by herself, Luke didn't know about it, I would buy it all up, and it would totally make much more sense. And it would build a stronger sort of Leia for me. I mean, I always believed that she was strong, and now to add this stuff, as since she's like a TIE fighter and really know what she wants and taking it all into her own hands sort of thing, it's just like, I get that. But the whole Luke thing is like, he's there, and it totally jives not well with what I feel Episode 5 is. Just like Star Wars. Just saying. And lastly, Lady Killer number 3. We see crazy stuff. The whole balancing life act thing is just like, is she really tricking the mother-in-law? She knows something's up. And it's just really figuring out how to handle that. And the organization's not really helping, because it seems like they're really going to crack down on her and just stop her from doing her job. And it's just like, that's too bad. And also the next job that she's on is just rough. It's definitely rough. And it's just, I mean, it's definitely something a killer has to face with. It's like, you have kids because you're a mother, and you're a killer yourself, and you're assigned to kill a kid. What are you going to do? And obviously, the organization is not happy. And we had some crazy car movement here. I feel like I've seen this before. That's why I had to check the release date. I felt I put this in the wrong pile. But definitely, what's going to happen? Love the art. Just sexiness all around. And it's just her just balancing life. And it's just like, what's going to happen? Great stuff. So there you have it. That's it for this week. This week was amazing. I loved it. It's really great, actually. It's very awesome to always have a week where I can't decide which issues to read. And when I finished all my stuff that I bought, it was just like awesome back to back. I mean, sometimes we have stuff where just like, but this week was just amazing, and it was just great stuff. Hope your week was awesome, because this week for me was awesome. And anyway, as usual, if you have any recommendations, things to check out, things that you agree, disagree, leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that's it for this week's Wednesday Comics Time. Out.